Hey Rockheads, Tina Smash here along with Big Rick. We are live at Carolina Rebellion, one of the headliners and bands you guys are very familiar with. Shinedown hitting the stage later on tonight, and we've got the pleasure of sitting down with Brent Smith. How are you?
I'm doing good. Sorry I'm a little bit late,
No.
but we were at the we were signing CDs for FYE, and they sold out of all of our media, so there was a huge line, and they asked us, what do you want to do? And normally you'll cut it off, but they've already bought it. So we were there for an extra 45 minutes.
Well,
so thanks for being patient.
You're actually the most accommodating
Yeah.
person I have ever heard of in a band.
I think it's nice that you have, artists like you that care about, obviously, the people that are buying your CDs and spending hours in line to meet you and get something signed, and you just
Absolutely.
don't. Yeah.
Can't do it without them.
Exactly.
You know, we've always said we only have one boss. It just happens to be everybody in the audience.
Right? Oh, that's so true, though. So true. I thought maybe you just got done working out, because I know
I did
you...
that 2 hours ago.
I wanted to ask you, can we talk about the workout a little bit?
Sure.
Because obviously your transformation is amazing, and you...
I'm actually a little thick right now. I'm trying to get back to where I was.
Don't sweat it. You're gonna be okay.
Yeah,
You're gonna
but
be
you
okay.
do a lot of cardio in the
Yeah.
the Beachbody Insanity stuff, correct?
Yeah.
I was talking earlier to Adrock about this because I also work out completely. I hate cardio, so
Okay.
I did Insanity once, and my calves hurt for 3 days, and I was like, oh my god, all the jumping and
Right.
stuff. How does that work with the? You never plateaued. You still do the same tapes over and over again? Like,
Honest to God, going back to 2012, I had found out about Sean T just as
Amazing.
a trainer.
Yeah.
And then that's when the Insanity programs were just being released. So I got that in actually 2011, got about halfway and then stopped. But then I had gotten to a point where I'm 5'8", but I had gotten to 222 pounds. And it was one of those elements where I said, this isn't going to work for me. And it's definitely not going to work for the guys, because they had to come to me and be like, you got to do something. And so I just needed to, I had to basically kind of get I had to find a switch. Because it was tough in the beginning. But a lot of it was built around the diet, more than just, the exercise is always going to be there. But since then, I have a trainer who's been a dear friend of mine for 4 years now. And, we go into total, it goes into muscle and weight training and things of that nature. The cardio really comes into play out here. And yes, I'm a traditionalist when it comes to Insanity. I still do the original Insanities because they're the most effective.
Yeah.
There's not really necessarily a plateau. The only way you're going to plateau is if you start eating like crap.
well, do you just eat clean, or do you follow?
I do my
really
best
strict...
to eat clean right now. I'm giving myself a little bit more of some cheat days here and there, because
Well, you can plateau eating. Too,
well,
right?
because it's one of those things where during Amaryllis, which was the last album, I had just gotten so focused with the fact, because I lost 70 pounds, and then it's one of those things where you see yourself for the first time, and you haven't seen yourself like that in a long time, and you really don't want to lose that. But, when we were doing Threat to Survival, I fell off. I was still working out,
Right.
but we were in a studio, and we were doing things of that nature. Out here, though, I'm 38 years old, and a lot of the musicians are getting younger, and
Right.
the thing that I have to take into consideration is that I'm a front man,
Yeah.
and nobody wants to see a front man not taking care of himself.
Well, not only that, but health-wise, that's a lot of energy.
Yeah, I have an
putting into
8-year-old
shows.
son,
Yeah,
and I'm like I said, I have an 8-year-old little boy, and I'm no good to him dead.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I need to be healthy.
Yeah, it's funny too, because I'm sure you find I just had chicken fingers because I was starving, and there's not anything.
Yeah, but that's
healthy.
fine,
But but I find myself oh god, I feel like crap now. Do you find yourself doing that?
Only with sugar.
Yeah.
The sugar is kind of my weakness, but it makes me feel the worst the next day.
Yeah.
I guess I have a weakness for double stuffed Oreos.
I actually think they're made with weakness ingredients wise.
too.
I think they make that.
Yes.
Mine is carbs. I'm Italian, and I love pasta.
Oh,
So do I. Yeah.
I
I'm all
love
about that
pasta.
too.
So I'll eat pasta for breakfast. I'm like, let me get if I want it, I'll eat it for breakfast. Get
I'm
my
Italian.
carbs
We
in.
had to.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
Get my
choice.
carbs in.
Yeah, really.
So, I own a fitness studio here in North Carolina, but it's aerial arts. It's aerial silks and
Nice.
lira and stuff like that. So, I love talking to people who do different types of work.
Carrie King's wife does that too.
Well, if you're ever back in North Carolina and you have some free time, we'll throw you on the silks, and
Bring
I'll
it
make you
on.
so. Oh, don't.
I'm like bringing on.
Yeah, no, I always bring the bands through the studio when they come into town.
Yeah.
And every single one of them is like, oh My God, I can't play guitar tonight. Like, my arms hurt that bad. It's an intense workout. It
I'm
really
sure it is. I'm sure it's built all around the core also.
Yeah, and
That's the
upper body
biggest thing
strength.
that I've learned over the years with just getting more fit, that your core is like the number one thing. People don't know what your core is. That's your abs.
It's made in the kitchen.
Yeah,
I
it's
have
made in the
one
kitchen.
gigantic ab. I went ahead and just made one.
Yes, but it looks like it's a passionate ab.
It is.
Very passionate.
This ab does a lot of things most people think it can't do.
I can tell.
I remember seeing you guys doing this for the first time, and I think it was in Pittsburgh on the Carnival Madness tour, and I actually saw it from a distance, and I thought maybe the crew was in trouble because it was a whole bunch of you doing it, and I thought he makes them do push-ups or something when they're bad.
Yeah.
That's what I actually thought the first time.
Yeah, if you weren't watching a workout and you saw like a bunch of people doing push-ups, that's called the drop. So out here in this crew, as you're walking around, going about your day, working, doing your thing, if someone yells out "drop," you have no choice, and the person who yells it out counts it out, and also decides how many it is. So
I'm gonna start
randomly,
doing that at work with you guys when you make me
I'm
mad.
going to have to find a new station.
So randomly, you could get dropped 30 push-ups. It could be 60 push-ups. It could be 5 push-ups. But if you get dropped and you're in the area, you got to drop.
I saw that and I was like, what? I think they're bad. Like that was just weird.
You know what I find though that's crazy too is like Matt from Trivium and I are good friends, and we like to grapple and do BJJ and stuff like that. And I'm starting to see more and more of the.
You like to grapple?
I do. Well, no, like I train cage fighting and boxing and stuff like that because I like to try different fitness things. But I find that a lot of musicians on the road tend to lean towards exercise more than partying, and I don't know if it's just a certain age
once you
and
hit,
older.
Once
yeah,
you hit
you know
30,
what I mean? 'Cause
hangovers are a bitch.
Oh, I know. Well, trust me, I know.
Once you get 30.
I'm almost 30.
Yeah, you
But-
got about 4 years.
Yeah.
My thing too is just the simple fact that anyone that's followed anything about me over the years, I've been a drug addict, since I was 16, and an alcoholic and everything else. I'm not really an alcoholic. I'm more of a drunk because I never ever drink to have fun and socialize.
Yeah.
I drank when I did drink to fall down.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where I don't, go into it with anybody and say that I'm sober. I don't do 12 steps or anything like that. I totally commend it. But it's just for me, over the years, as I've gotten clean, I've just always told people that, I'm sober today. I don't know what I'll do tomorrow. So I have to kind of just live it one
Some
day at a
people,
time.
yeah,
but that's
absolutely.
just the way that I'm built. That's just the way I'm hardwired.
Some people need to go to meetings. Some people turn to fitness. Some
Yeah.
people turn to photography, like Nikki Sixx. Some people, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
everybody has their own thing.
And one thing with me too is just I've lived in California for 6 years, and my son's 8 now, and I'm just missing him grow up. So I actually sold my house in California, and now I don't want to say I'm homeless, but I ain't got a house, so
Right.
I just go back to Florida and be with to be with my son now, and it's kind of freeing to not have any because I'm single, and my little boy is the number one thing in my life aside from Shinedown. So I'm in a very unique place in my life right now.
You're in a good
Minimalist.
place.
Yeah,
that's
totally.
You're in a great place.
Oh, and not to bring up anything that is hard to deal with, but I remember the first time seeing you guys at the Crowbar in State College,
Yeah.
PA, and this is 400 cap, and there was maybe 300 people there.
Mm-hmm.
It's unbelievable to have seen an early show like that and watch the development not only of the band. There obviously were a couple changes in between there, but to see you guys headlining festivals in front of 40,000 people and thinking about that Crowbar show, God, I hope you write a book. I hope you write a whole bunch of books because the story is tremendous.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I have to be honest though. I really do have to give it to the audience because I remember, in the very, very beginning, we had this idea from a media standpoint that they were going to really, really love us, and that it was going to be, MTV and on the cover of Rolling Stone and Spin and all these different things, and it just didn't happen like that. But the one thing that has always been true to form from day one, and we're very, very lucky and very blessed by this, is that radio never turned their back on us, and everybody in radio actually got what the band was about.
Well, thank you
And,
so much.
That's very nice.
We
to hear.
never hear that.
No, but honestly, the band,
seriously.
the main two elements of why this band has a career is the radio, because you brought it to the people, and ultimately they'll decide whether you stay or you'll go. But they've they've spoken very loudly that they want us to stay.
Well, cranking out hits doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
We do our best.
You're a hit factory.
We try.
Right? Yeah, that's one of the things that I will never. And I thought it was very classy. And I think people think something differently. I don't want to ruin the mystique of rock and roll, but it's very friendly atmosphere. There's not hookers and blow all over the place back here. But you guys are not only some of the nicest people, but how respectful you were at Louder Than Life last year, because Skinner played before you and they told you to start, and how you just kind of stopped the show, and so we need to apologize to Leonard Skinner. It's neat to see that bands actually care about stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's we were inspired by a lot of different artists, and doing these type of events it's fun for us too, because we get to see a lot of our friends in other bands. It's kind of like summer camp, and it's also, I like it because it's a healthy competition. Like, everyone's like high-fiving each other and seeing their old friends and stuff, and seeing you in catering and stuff like that. But when the witching hour comes for you and it's time for you to walk on stage, bring your A game.
Yeah.
That kind of goes back to what you were saying. I'm 38 and the younger guys are coming up. It's like you're going to make sure they're not going to pass you.
Pretty much. No, it's not happening.
Good for you, man. That's awesome.
You got to, and it is good though. But that's healthy. There's the most unsexy thing in the world is being cocky, but the really, really sexy things are when you're confident. Confidence is super, super sexy.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Does that go along kind of how you've changed, I don't want to just say outfits, but the look of the band over time? I mean, is it kind of keeping up with the competition, or changing yourself, or does it have to do with the writing of the songs? Because you've obviously, I remember one time you used to be in a three-piece suit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it depends on the style of the tour, too, sometimes. We wanted to, the very first time that we put button-downs on and ties, and we're putting vests on and things of that nature, that was during the Amarillo cycle. And we did a tour on Sound of Madness at the very, very end, called Anything and Everything, that was an acoustic show where we let the audience ask questions in between songs, and we talked about what each song actually meant. It was actually the most psychologically intense touring I had ever done, because I had to express where all these songs came from, because I'm the main lyricist in the band. So, but from the outfits, we wanted to do something that was kind of chic and kind of cool and classy, because we were like, we're never going to look back at these pictures and say that was a bad idea, because it looked good.
Yeah.
And then when we do Carnival Madness and things like that, the last one we did, we were all done up with, I had crazy outfits on that and stuff like that.
The hoops and all kinds of
things. Yeah. There was all kinds of things like that. And now we've got, we're doing Carnival again this year because we're on cycle. So the set design for that is probably one of the most insane things that we've ever put together.
Do you get to input that?
Absolutely. We're working with
this. Your show, the Carnival?
Carnival is, it's us, it's Hailstorm, it's Blackstone Cherry, and a band called Whiskey Myers, but we are the headliner. Yeah. With Five Finger Death Punch, we got together, and this is something that's been in the works for about a year. All the stuff that we're doing in the fall with Five Finger, that's like a year ago we started talking to them about that, and they started talking to us about it because we wanted to do it. But we just wanted to do it the right way, because it is a co-headlining tour. But we want both bands to we're just pretty much on that tour. Our goal is just to go out and annihilate everybody. Yeah. What I mean by that, the tour, because 6 a.m.'s on it, and As Lions, Bruce Dickerson's son, who's awesome with that, and Nikki and Nikki Sixx, and us, Nikki and Zach, our guitar player Zach Myers, they've been friends for 3.5 years. And it's a huge, big tour that we've set up a year in advance.
Yeah, it's almost like a mini festival in an arena every night for fans. I mean, it's not like you don't want to get there and see every single minute of every single band.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm excited.
But we're stoked to be at Carolina Rebellion, because there's a lot of bands there today.
Oh yeah, and it's the first year for 3 days. I'm exhausted, but it's a good exhaustion.
Well, you look like you're holding it well.
Thank you.
Exhaustion.
I'm actually sweating really bad and exhausted, exhausted. But we enjoy it. I mean.
We'll go take a nap before we go on.
I can't take a nap. I'll never. No, I can't. I'll fall asleep and never wake up. Because I'm lame. I go to bed. This is so sad. Because I get up super early, so I go to bed at 9 o'clock.
Street lights, come on. Time to go home. Yeah.
I like to sleep. I like to get my. I get 6 hours. So I'm busy. I work out all the time.
I just talk on the radio.
It's all good.
Yeah. It's great to see you again, man.
You too. Thanks for having us.